Welcome to Let's Talk Kenmore, a lighthearted podcast aimed at connecting citizens to their local government and demystifying the role of government in the city of Kenmore. I am your host, Amber Clifton. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Nicole Suarez, Kenmore's Interim Events and Communications Specialist, and Torrey Edwards, who is the Farmers Market President at the city of Woodinville. Nicole and Torrey brief me on the exciting new partnership with the Kenmore and Woodinville markets. Please enjoy this episode of Let's Talk Kenmore. Welcome to Let's Talk Kenmore. I am here today with two guests, my colleague Nicole Suarez, our Interim Events and Communications Specialist, and Torrey Edwards, who is the president of the Woodinville Farmers Market. And they are both going to educate me today about the history of their respective farmers market projects and the exciting new partnership between Woodinville and Kenmore. Hi, Nicole and Torrey. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Hi. Thanks, Amber.
Hi. Thanks for coming on. So, Torrey, let's start with you. Can you kind of give us a brief rundown of the Woodinville Farmers Market and sort of your role in the evolution of the market?
Yeah. So the Woodinville Farmers Market was established back in the early 90s. It was formed by a group of residents dedicated to supporting our local agriculture community. We've been volunteer operated market. Occasionally we've been able to hire on some paid staff, but it's a volunteer run nonprofit. So to put on that market is just a bunch of people getting together, trying to make it happen. We've been able to keep it rolling though. And we've had some moves. We kept it up through COVID, but we've stayed strong and we're just getting larger and more successful, in part because of all the hard work of our teams at the last few years, especially.
That's incredible. So going on a couple of decades now of the Woodinville Farmers Market. Wow, that is incredible. Good for you. And Nicole, the Kenmore market, that's relatively new, and that's been kind of your baby, right? We have you to thank for one existing in Kenmore.
Oh, thanks. Not just me, but lots of partnerships and collaboration for sure. So the Kenmore market was proposed in late 2021. The idea was hatched and presented to council, and council approved the market for 2022 as a pilot program year. And so I was tasked with rolling out that market and partnered with the events and volunteer supervisor with the city, Stephanie Brown. And we basically rolled it out in terms of getting everything up and going. We partnered with a consultant who had been in the farmers market world for 20 plus years. So we had some expertise with us, and we really just brought it into the events world of what we were operating already on our events team, and just ran it as a weekly 13 session event, big event, and brought in our vendors and partners and rolled it out that first year. And it was really warmly received from the community. And we had some obstacles. We had to close down a road for this as well, and had some, creative conversations with the partnering business neighbors. And so all in all worked out though, and came back with our figures and stats and data from that first pilot year, proposed it again to council, and council approved the market for 2 more years. So 2023 and 2024. And here we are now. And that's what we can talk about today, with this being the last official approved year of the market run under the City of Kenmore operations.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I'm curious, what is this going to look like rolling forward then? So you've partnered with Torrey and the City of Woodinville.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me about that. What does that look like? How did that come to be?
Sure. Thanks. So with that, knowing that Kenmore Farmers Market is a favorite within the community, we wanted to still keep that going for the Kenmore community, and especially also supporting our farmers and our local businesses. And so to have a place to sell, and for our local shoppers to be able to come downtown Kenmore and shop on a regular basis in the summer. So definitely want to keep that going. So I was tasked with finding a partner who would take this on. And so really that journey started with conversations. One key conversation was with the executive director of the Washington State Farmers Market Association, and just kind of started brainstorming ideas really and what that would look like. And so a natural idea was who are our neighboring market. I had met with Torrey even like, I think early on in our market year, maybe Torrey, if you remember that first year. And I was kind of picking Torrey's brain about, oh, what do you do for programming? What do you do for your, just the various market operations questions. And so had kind of put a bug in her ear even then of like, hey, would your market ever be interested in growing? And so fast forward to fall of 2023, really kind of closer towards the end of the year, and had approached Torrey and brought that up with her. And she received the information graciously. And I'll let you take it from there, Torrey, on getting that thrown at you.
We're a board that runs our market. So there's 7 of us. And actually among the 7, there's already a few people who are residents of Kenmore and Bothell. And so we're already, kind of taking over that top corner of the lake.
Yeah.
So there was a natural connection to the area already. And there's a recognition just in the nonprofit world in general that it takes a lot to set up a board, run a board, and find people to fill those roles. And so if we can actually run 2 markets where we're effectively doing the same operational work, but we have a larger pool of people to pull from, it's not quite twice as much work for 2 markets. And then there's more people who can step in and join us. And I think honestly, the more we thought about it, it was also nice, I think, for the vendors as well, because with 2 markets that they might take part in, we actually already have a few overlapping vendors. And if we can streamline, sort of our operations so that they're having the same interface with 2 different markets, it's not as convoluted because not every market necessarily runs exactly the same way.
Sure.
Hopefully this is helpful to that community.
Yeah, we're so lucky to have somebody so close by who has been successfully been able to maintain their market for so many years. So we're lucky to have your expertise. So as far as the crossover partnership, what does that look like? Are we sharing vendors? Are we sharing volunteers? Are we sharing funds? Is it still the Kenmore market, but Woodinville people are... Help me understand.
I was going to say, the first thing I want to help everyone know is, as far as the general public's concerned, I can't imagine that much is going to change.
Okay.
The Woodinville Farmers Market will still be the Woodinville Farmers Market. The Kenmore Farmers Market will still be the Kenmore Farmers Market. It's just about who's operating behind the scenes.
Oh, okay. And Nicole, what will that change for you in terms of organizing and getting things set up and contacting the people that you need to contact? What will that look like?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So this year in 2024 is a big transition year. So we're working on bringing Woodinville into the fold in terms of our planning, and all the infrastructure and contacts that we have will be handed off to Torrey and her board. And so right now we're, one example of that is our day of market lead is working as our primary day of lead and the assistant Woodinville day of manager. And so that really helps to kind of share information. And this person who's working as our market lead now the hope is that that person stays on and has some continuity between our market and the Woodinville market to kind of share information and really help streamline processes. And so this year, the operations are, kind of still under Kenmore, but we're sharing and kind of leading towards what that looks like. We're working on our final agreements of what Woodinville will do and how Kenmore will support. So going forward, Kenmore will support financially the market, just like we do various other nonprofits to support and offer programming for the community. And so this is one perfect example of that, of how the city will support with a financial contribution for the Woodinville Farmers Market. And then our crew members will still be helping to shut down the road, Northeast 181st Street between 67th and 68th Avenue Northeast, and setting up the detour routes and still setting up the taco time lane for ingress into that business as well. So that's a little bit. Did I answer that question?
Yeah, thank you. So the public can expect everything to look the same. This is all a behind the scenes partnership that should not impact in any kind of significant way. Okay.
The only fundamental shift that I think is occurring really is that we will actually be establishing Kenmore Farmers Market's own online presence. So like a website, social media, et cetera, because currently it all runs through the city.
Oh, fun. A social media okay. And Woodinville has that. I did check out Woodinville's page. It's really fun. So how do you decide who the vendors are going to be? Do they change from season to season? Do they have themes? And how will Woodinville contribute to maybe new ideas in Kenmore as far as booths that maybe weren't there before? Is there going to be a creative influence at all from Woodinville to Kenmore?
I think just in the sense that it offers potential for when vendors apply to either one or the other, we can really emphasize both of them, because one is on a Saturday, one is on a Wednesday. They could conceivably do both. And then we can actually really create stronger relationships with our vendors if they're able to be in both places and kind of really get more connected to the community. But each year we just open applications and see who comes through. The nature of farmers markets, you either kind of get the vendors that are there just forever, or you get the ones that are there to grow their business and then use it more as a launching point. And so it's great. It means that there's some stability, but also some novelty every year.
Do you have some vendors that have been there since conception?
No, not at this point. 30 years is a long time to vend.
That's
but,
true. If you're passionate about your craft, you're passionate about your craft.
Yeah, we're have a lot of returning vendors at the Kenmore market, and I anticipate that will just continue on. And like Torrey said, it will kind of share. Maybe they'll go to Woodinville, and maybe some of Woodinville's will come over. So I think that's just really opens up that door. But we are so pleased to have, I would say, a good core 75 to 80% of our vendors are return, even from that first year. And all of our vendors really love the Kenmore market. And we always do a survey at the end of the season, and they're like, oh, we love this market. It's one of our favorites. And so that's really, really nice to see those applications come in every spring and see those names like, oh yes, that, coffee or local Boaz coffee, or as an example, right, is coming back to join us. So I imagine that will continue as well. And, we work really closely with our vendors and have a really good system. And so we're really sharing that with Woodinville now, in terms of like an example of a system is just kind of their load in, and parking is just, we're lucky enough to have a parking right by our market. And so just the market logistics, try to keep it real smooth, and we'll share that with Woodinville and have those operations be the same as well. And another key thing that kind of will be brought into the fold, and you had asked Amber about a creative aspect that the Woodinville Farmers Market is going to bring in, and I'm really excited for this, is Woodinville has a great kind of like performance entertainment aspect of their market. And that's something that we have always really hoped to grow. And especially for me, coming from the event world of having like great programming at events, we would love to grow that at the Kenmore market in terms of performers, music, any kind of like extra piece, like kids activity booths. The Woodinville Farmers Market really has that dialed in.
Yeah.
And so I'm super excited to see that be able to merge and be able to enhance the Kenmore market.
Yeah.
As well.
I'm excited too as a resident. I want to see that. Torrey, what kinds of performances are happening there? And then are they considered vendors as well, or how was that incorporated in?
No. So we call it our main stage. We have a music tent sort of right in the middle of our layout, and we have 2 entertainment slots each day. One is more of an actual like kind of touring local artist, whereas the other slot is specifically set aside for more like community. So we'll have, speaking of this weekend, we have the Juanita High School musical.
Oh.
They're coming in and doing some performance. But we also sometimes have had an author come through and do a reading time where she reads her books, or we are also working towards chef demos this year as well, a few times in the market. So yeah, just a variety of things going on in that area.
Oh, that's really cool. A chef demo? That's really cool. Would it incorporate like, if there's farmers or merchants there that have produce or whatever, is it to incorporate that in, or is it a completely separate?
Yeah, the idea is that they show up, shop the market, cook right on site, and then share the samples with the customers. So
that's incredible. Who thought of that?
We're piloting it this year to see how it rolls, but it helps that one of our board members is a vendor with a chef background, and he's been very instrumental in bringing this together. And Woodinville has a few other good chefs in the area, Herb Farm, Heritage, et cetera, that we're talking to see if they want to be on board and help us out.
Yeah. Well, and I guess that's the cool thing too about having such successful like longevity is you can start playing with sort of out of the box ideas because the infrastructure is well established enough that you can kind of do that. Kenmore's well on their way because the response in the community to the market has been so good. So good. So do you have to be a resident of one or the other to be a vendor and or a performer?
No. We're both Kenmore and Woodinville already are members of the Washington State Farmers Market Association. And so within those criteria, we decide who can be a vendor or not. And it's pretty much just limited to Washington State. Obviously, we have some sort of our own rubric of how we vet vendors, and we try to keep it as local as we can. Two of our main farmers are from the valley right here, like 2 miles down the road from our farmers market. So that's pretty special.
Wow. Yeah. And same with us, Nicole. There's sort of that overseeing governing branch of farmers market. What is it called?
It's the Washington State Farmers Market Association. Exactly. Yeah. So that really provides us what's called route guidelines, and so that helps us to make sure everything is really from growers for our vendors to be selling the what's at the market. And we are in Kenmore really proud. We have a really strong number of Kenmore vendors, Kenmore businesses that are at our market too, and that's something that's been really lovely to highlight with the Kenmore market, and we'll want to see that going too.
Yeah, that's so true. Some really cool crafts I remember from last year. And was there popsicles? Do I remember that correctly? Like a popsicle lady that was like
exactly.
Man,
this year there's going to be a Kenmore vendor who sells ice cream, so that's fun and new. And we do have a brand new bakery in Kenmore, so they just applied to the market too. So they'll be there as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went over and got myself some cookies when they opened
delicious.
Up. They were delicious. Yeah. How exciting. Well, anything else that you want the folks to know about this exciting new partnership?
Yeah, I'll just share that we've had with our market in Kenmore, we've had a volunteer, it's called the Kenmore Farmers Market Volunteer Committee. And so these committee members is 5 to 6 members that serve in really key pivotal roles for our market, roles such as a market ambassador who helps spread the word and do some marketing and advertising for the market, a community liaison who schedules all of our weekly nonprofits, operations lead who greets the vendors and shows where to go. And this year we added in a kids programming lead. So we'll do some kind of fun kids programming at a booth, at least once a month at the market too. And so these roles will continue on next year and in the years following as well, just to really have that Kenmore voice. We're really grateful for those strong community leaders and members who've really stepped up and served on our volunteer board. So that's really, really nice. And Torrey's already kind of met them all, and we'll continue to work with them next year as well. So we've been grateful for those positions and volunteers. And the other big role on that is the volunteer lead who coordinates our Day of Volunteers. And we have a ton of Day of Volunteers who are really helpful. And that's been a really great part of the community too, to really foster this community connection through volunteering at the market.
Yeah, I agree. I had the privilege of last year going out and helping a little bit. And it was just so nice to see the collaboration. And it's just what a positive experience.
To piggyback on that, absolutely. Farmers markets don't run without volunteers. So we're excited to be able to have that space for both communities to engage. And that's, to me, I think really what farmers markets are about. Our mission statement, in fact, with the Woodinville Farmers Market is to build community by providing a place to engage with local farmers, producers, and artisans. And just really coming from a place of believing that everyone should have access to a local farmers market would be the dream. I'm excited that both of our markets already, especially Kenmore, considering it is newer, have SNAP and SNAP Market Match, which is just really nice to know that we have those spaces, bringing on the kids, activities. Just we want farmers markets to be somewhere for everyone.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me of that. Nicole, can you elaborate a little bit on the SNAP benefits and what that means? And because that's really exciting.
Yeah. I mean, it's under this umbrella of the food access programs that are at the market. And we're really happy to have these available at the Kenmore Farmers Market and Woodinville as well, because it provides a way for all income levels to shop the items that are available at the market. And so it just opens the door to a range of community members, right? And so the programs that we have include the SNAP EBT, like Torrey mentioned, which is a federally funded program. So SNAP and EBT recipients can come to the market booth. You can swipe your card and get your tokens, your benefit tokens, and then you use those tokens to shop with our vendors and buy your items that you'd like at the market for qualifying vendors. And the other new program that we're super excited to bring in this year, which we didn't have last year, is called SNAP Market Match. And that's a state-funded program, which basically says if you want to use $20 of your EBT funds, we'll match and give you $20 worth of these SNAP Match funds. And so it just doubles their spending power at the market. And that's awesome for the shopper, and then really beneficial for the vendor as well, who can cash in on those sales as well. And the other food access program is called WIC, Women, Infant and Children and Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program. So those benefits go directly to those recipients who qualify for those programs on a card, and they come and shop with their card directly at the market and pay directly to the vendor. And the vendors are set up with portals on their apps, on their smartphones, and can receive their payments. So we have that all now at the market, and we're really happy to offer those programs.
That's incredible. Yeah, to give access to everybody.
I just want to say that I've been really excited working with Kenmore. You guys have a great team. We feel very supported by the city as we're considering this transition and all the logistical details. So we're just excited for the future of both markets as we look toward 2025.
Thank you for saying that. And I'm equally happy and pleased to be able to work with you and your board, and just so grateful that you said yes, and happy that we're able to work this out for sure for the future benefit of the markets.
Oh, this was so much fun. Torrey, I feel honored to have been able to have chatted with you. Will I see you around Kenmore every once in a while?
Over the course of the season, the market manager especially, and then myself and maybe a couple other board members are going to make a point of coming in, seeing how it's run already. We don't want to come in and totally change anything. We want to let it run smoothly, transition, and then maybe look towards change in the future.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing you. Nicole, congratulations on your new position.
Thank you.
I'm not happy that you won't be sitting next to me anymore, but I am happy for you.
Don't worry. I'll come up and chat with you. Don't worry. You'll still see me lots.
Well, I sure appreciate the good work that both of you do for the larger community and the individual, Woodinville and Kenmore, and it takes a village, right?
Definitely.
Yes. Thank you, Amber, for having us on.
This has been very educational. I'm excited for the market. I'm excited for the partnership, and Kenmore and Woodinville are in good hands.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Take care. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Let's Talk Kenmore. Be sure to check back for more interesting topics and conversations. And as always, don't forget to ask yourself, where's the fun?